Step inside the human mind with these 10 hidden psychological horror movies that twist fear from the inside out. Stories that don't scream but slowly get under your skin. Instead of jump scares, they use tension, silence, and uncertainty to pull you in. Number 10, Fear of Rain.
There's no one up there. Your mind is just playing tricks on you. Your mind is just playing tricks.
17-year-old Rain Burrows suffers from early-onset schizophrenia and struggles to distinguish her vivid hallucinations from reality. When she becomes convinced that her enigmatic next-door neighbor is hiding a kidnapped child in her attic, her parents' attempts to help feel increasingly like they're silencing her. The film traps us in Rain's fractured perspective, a world where trust is elusive and every whisper, shadow, or distant cry could be imagined, or all too real. The tension surges as Rain allies with Caleb, a newcomer at school whose existence she doubts, and together they peel back the layers of secrecy and fear. Number 9, Moon Garden.
There's something terrible out there.
5-year-old Emma tumbles down a flight of stairs and slips into a coma, waking instead in a dark, industrial dreamscape where her body lies motionless in a hospital, and the voices of her parents whisper through a radio. Directed by Ryan Harris, the film casts Emma as a lone wanderer navigating a mechanical nightmare haunted by a grotesque creature that feeds on her tears. As she follows the static-laden signal of her mother's voice across flickering machines and rusting corridors, the fantasy world mirrors her family's unresolved turmoil and her desperate struggle to return to consciousness. Moon Garden is a visceral, handcrafted descent into the subconscious, where emotion, fear, and memory combine into a haunting odyssey. Number 8, The Strange Color of Your Body's Tears. Dan Christensen returns from a business trip to find his sleek Brussels apartment silent and his wife gone without explanation. As Dan questions neighbors, crawls through hidden passages, and confronts his own fragmented memories, the building itself becomes a reflector of his psyche. Corridors twist like nerves, windows bleed into mirrors, and every whisper hides a blade. What makes it terrifying is not a conventional monster, but the distortion of identity, the dissolution of safety, and the sense that voyeurism has become self-destruction. Number 7, Resurrection.
The only person that really knows who you are.
Margaret is a poised, high-achieving businesswoman who has carved out a life of order, a successful career, a teenage daughter about to head off to college, and a carefully managed personal world. The film begins when a figure from her long-buried past reemerges. An ex who once manipulated her, now haunting her every move. As he creeps into her present, Margaret's grip on control begins to slide. Panic attacks surface, odd coincidences mount, and the walls of her meticulously maintained life start to close in. The threat is not just physical, but psychological. The film unravels the terror of past abuse, the fear of losing oneself, and the dread that the most dangerous danger may lie within. With each moment of tension, Resurrection becomes a cold-blooded meditation on the cost of survival and the terrifying truth that running away does not erase what has been done. Number 6, Descent into Darkness.
Okay, I see that you enjoy the Paris by night. Oh,
A freelance journalist from Eastern Europe, Sorgoy, arrives in Paris under the guise of filming a documentary about youthful aspirations and the so-called European dream. Directed by Raphael Cherkassky, the film follows Sorgoy as he wanders tourist sites, parties with locals, and accumulates a worn camcorder's worth of footage. What begins as an irreverent travelogue gradually morphs into an unraveling mind trip. He loses his bearings, both socially and morally, as the lights of the city become flickers of something deeper. With its raw, gritty found footage style, Descent into Darkness drags us from the promise of wonder into the pit of chaos. Number 5, Unsane.
You must be insane.
My mom didn't pick up last night.
Hello? You must be insane.
What happened to her? A dead body was discovered.
Sawyer Valentini has fled her old life in Boston to escape the constant shadow of a stalker, only to find herself committing the gravest error of all, signing away her freedom. Directed by Steven Soderbergh, the film thrusts us into the world of Sawyer, who after a therapy session is tricked into a 24-hour stay at a psychiatric facility, and soon the stay becomes much longer when the lines between reality, trauma, and paranoia blur. As she begins to suspect one of the staff is her stalker under a new identity, the walls of the institution close in, and her voice is repeatedly silenced. What makes the horror here so effective is the claustrophobic environment, the fear of being disbelieved, and the creeping dread that the most dangerous trap is the one you can't notice until it's too late. Number 4, A Cure for Wellness. Lockhart, an ambitious executive, is sent to retrieve his company's missing CEO from an exclusive wellness center nestled in the Swiss Alps. But what begins as a simple assignment spirals into a waking nightmare. Directed by Gore Verbinski, the film draws us into a beautifully sterile world of spas, steam, and silence, where patients drink from glass vials and speak in hushed tones about the cure. As Lockhart endures strange treatments and his questions are brushed aside, he realizes the retreat's serene exterior masks something far more sinister. The deeper he digs, the more he uncovers unsettling rituals, twisted medical practices, and a long-buried history that refuses to stay hidden. Number 3, Nothing Bad Can Happen.
Who's that gorgeous?
Tor, a devout young man guided by his unwavering faith, lives on the fringes of society in a Christian punk collective, believing that goodness can overcome evil. The film follows him as he encounters Benno, a seemingly kind man whose car he repairs in an almost divine moment. Invited to stay with Benno's family, Tora becomes entangled in a twisted domestic arrangement that quickly shifts from generosity to control. What unfolds is a slow, merciless breakdown of his spirit as Torre clings to his beliefs while enduring cruelty disguised as care. Inspired by real events, Nothing Bad Can Happen strips away comfort and confronts the brutal clash between blind faith and human cruelty. Number 2, Thelma. Thelma is a sheltered young woman raised in a strict religious household who moves to Oslo to attend university, hoping to forge a new life beyond her family's rigid rules. Directed by Joachim Trier, the film watches as she meets Anya, a lively classmate whose presence awakens something deep within her. When Thelma begins to experience violent seizures and other inexplicable phenomena, those around her chalk up to medical issues. What's actually stirring is a latent supernatural triggered by her emotional and sexual awakening. Thelma becomes a haunting study of repression, power, and transformation. As her body resists the repression of desire and the pull of belief, it becomes the battleground of something far larger than herself. Number 1, Take Shelter.
I'm sorry.
Is this how you treat friends?
Curtis LaForge is a hard-working husband and father in a quiet Ohio town, with a deaf daughter and a devoted wife by his side. The film begins when Curtis starts having terrifying visions. Blackbirds swirling, rain that's thick like oil, and storms that seem both fantastical and inevitable. Believing he must protect his family, he begins secretly building a storm shelter in the backyard, even as he battles the frightening possibility that his mother's schizophrenia may be surfacing in him. The more he prepares for disaster, the more he isolates himself from his loved ones and his community. Take Shelter is a haunting portrait of a man caught between prophecy and paranoia, and the harrowing question of whether the greatest threat is the coming storm, or the storm inside his own mind. Here are 4 other movies you have to see. The Rental.
Charlie! Tell me that's not a camera.
Hey, Charlie, all right? Stop being so calm.
Everything is fine.
2 couples book a remote oceanside home for a weekend getaway, looking for peace and connection. Strange surveillance signs suggest they aren't alone, and buried secrets begin to surface. Trust between the friends starts to erode, unraveling their relationships. As tensions mount, danger creeps closer from within and beyond. It's a tense reflection on privacy, infidelity, and how little we know those closest to us. triangle.
It's starting over again. That's what's going on. Everything that happened to you before. He's dead!
After a storm capsizes their boat, a group of friends boards a deserted cruise ship adrift in the sea. The vessel seems empty, but something sinister stalks them. Time fractures and events begin looping with chilling consistency. As reality collapses, survival becomes an impossible puzzle. It's a mind-bending nightmare that turns déjà vu into a deadly trap. Jacob's Ladder.
I can block the ladder.
Where are you taking me?
A Vietnam veteran returns home only to find his world slipping into a chaotic haze of hallucinations and dread. Shadowy figures follow him, and time no longer feels stable. As he searches for meaning, he questions his own sanity and past. Memories, guilt, and grief claw at his perception of reality. It's a deeply unsettling journey into the fractured mind of a man haunted by more than war. The Skeleton Key.
It's in your mirrors.
A hospice nurse takes a job in an old Louisiana mansion where the patient's condition defies medical explanation. Locked rooms, whispered beliefs, and old rituals stir beneath the surface. Her curiosity leads her into local hoodoo traditions that she doesn't fully understand. The line between superstition and power grows increasingly thin. It's a tale of trust, belief, and doors that should never be opened.